It is 6:02 in the heart of the Texas Hill Country, and you're listening to Eat, Play, Live with me, Andi P, the show that's chasing dreams and crushing goals. My goal here is to help you live a healthier, happier, more balanced life. And our focus for this year is learning to love ourselves unconditionally. In order to do that, to operate in love, we need balance. The ups, the downs, the naughty, the nice, the water, the wine, whatever it is, we've got to find a balance. But we're passionate people, right? And when we become passionate about things, we can fall down the rabbit hole, right? And that balance just sort of goes out the window, and it can happen so unexpectedly. Think about when you fall in love, right? And you feel like you're just sort of floating above the earth, but balance is completely non-existent in that situation. Or maybe, you're working hard toward a very specific goal and it's got a deadline, it's time sensitive, and so you can just put off that balance. I'll get balanced in a minute. Like, first I have to deal with this, and then I'll take care of myself, get enough rest, spend time with my friends. We put that off. But that's a dangerous thing, because you start putting it off and that can become a habit. Or maybe you're dealing with some sort of illness, and it's of course very necessary that you focus on healing your body, but you've got to have that balance of also focusing on keeping your mind and your spirit in a good, healthy place. So, and then so often, I'm thinking of examples, but we can have all those things happening at the exact same time. I know I tend to be operating in a million different directions at once at any given time. I'm working on building my business and doing this show and preparing my son for college and training for the marathon next month and the next triathlon and travel, and the list goes on and on and on, and you juggle all these things that can totally throw you out of whack and off balance. So no wonder the topic of balance has been weighing very heavy on my spirit lately. So as we do on this show, let's break it down into manageable pieces, because that's what we can do, one step at a time. And we'll start with eating a balanced diet. Yes, we talk a lot about food, and it's not always because you want to gain weight, lose weight, maintain weight. Actually, a balanced diet is important because your organs and your tissues need proper nutrition in order to just work and do what they're supposed to do. Without good nutrition, your body is more prone to disease, infection, fatigue, poor performance. You just run down and you fall apart. This is like an essential thing here. So that is why back in the 60s, they came up with, I love that, the food pyramid, right? We all learned about the food pyramid in school, and it has actually changed over the years. And in my opinion, it kind of needs to change again. But I'm going to go over with you what the food pyramid looks like right now, because it's a good place to start when it comes to understanding how you should be eating for your health. Okay, so the base of the pyramid is the biggest part there along the bottom, and it's the bread and grains group. So according to the pyramid, a healthy diet contains 6 to 11 servings of breads and grains per day. That's a lot, in my opinion. Whew, okay. They're the experts, but that sounds like an awful lot. But a serving, keep in mind, is maybe half a cup of rice, cereal, pasta, 1 slice of bread. That's 1 serving. So another thing to consider is the type of grain, of course. The food pyramid chart recommends at least half of your bread and grains come from whole grain, whole wheat bread, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, oatmeal. I say only half? Really? How about all of them? Why would you have refined processed grains I don't understand why that would be recommended, but in my opinion, you should go with the healthier grains every time. So, okay, but that is the base there. So you people who are low carb, no carb, doing that kind of thing, you're cutting out an entire section of the food pyramid. Okay, so talk to your doctor before you do that, before you jump on the keto or whatever kind of no carb, low carb bandwagon you want to get on. Our bodies do actually need carbs, okay? Not simple carbs, not deep fried carbs, complex carbs. We need them. Okay, whoops, got on a little tangent there. So let's go up to the next level of the food pyramid. That would be vegetables and fruits. Vegetables, eat all you want. Have yourself a heyday on the veggie train there. 1 to 2 servings of fruit, okay? If you eat a lot more fruit than that, much more fruit than that, you're gonna get a lot of sugar. It's natural sugar, it's fructose, still a lot of sugar for your body to be taking in. So in my opinion, the vegetable and fruit section should be the base because you can have all the vegetables you want. And if you're, filling your plate with that mainly, well, all right. We'll leave it to the experts. I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am just an opinionated girl that happens to have a radio show and tell you what I think. So there you go. When it comes to fruits and vegetables, we want to eat the rainbow. And I'm going to talk about that in just a sec, but I don't want to get too off topic of our pyramid. We got to finish building first. So we've got the first 2 sections. The next section is milk and dairy. This group includes milk, including lactose-free varieties, yogurt, and our ever so beloved cheese. Oh yes. About 3 servings a day is the recommended amount for this category. A typical serving of dairy, 1 cup of milk or yogurt, 1 ounce of natural cheese. That's not a lot. They put more than that on an order of nachos, I guarantee you. I know, I'm sorry, I hate to break that to you. It is what it is. And then next to the last is the meat and beans group, which is interesting that that's combined. But this group contains meat, poultry, fish, eggs, nuts, dried beans. So choosing low-fat cuts of meat and poultry are key, of course. We don't want to add a bunch of fat here. 5 to 6 ounces of meat and beans each day is the recommended daily intake for this group. So it's interesting to me in this particular group that you might note that meat is high in protein and beans are high in carbs and nuts are high in fat. So it's interesting that they're all combined here in this one group, but it's important to make sure we include every group. So even a vegan or a vegetarian can include this group because it does include the beans, lentils. I'm sure lentils are a really good way to get a lot of protein. I think lentil is officially a bean, but anyway, it's a good way to get a lot of protein in there if you're not eating meat. And then the top, the wee smallest section, the tip top of the pyramid is oils and fats. So general recommendations there are 5 to 7 teaspoons of fats or oils per day. That's not very much. And we're talking about healthy oils here. I recommend coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, not the yucky stuff, and not deep frying. That oil, when you deep fry something or order something out, that oil is seeping into every crevice, every nook and cranny, and so you're actually getting way too much, and it's not the healthier oils. It's not. It's whatever's cheapest. So just keep that in mind. Oh my gosh, little tiny side note. So my son has a birthday coming up, and he's gonna be 19, and he told me that he wants to use his birthday money to buy an air fryer. Oh my heart. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? I jumped for joy. This is like, you parents will understand. I mean, what kid wants an air fryer for their 19th birthday? That's just like the most awesome, amazing thing. And he has been researching because I was talking to him about what types of oils to use when cooking. And so he started researching the best ones to cook with, because some of them get real smoky at high temperatures, and that kind of stuff is over my head because I'm not a great cook, and yeah, I haven't really gotten into that. Like, I don't care if it's smoky, whatever. I just use whatever's supposed to be good. But yeah, he was totally researching that. So that is so cool. So I love for you too to get so interested in this and giving your body the best thing for it that you actually start doing some research, start trying some new things. That's what it's all about, and it can be fun and exciting, and you can have that healthy, balanced diet. So let's go back to what I mentioned about eating the rainbow. What do I mean by that? Well, fruits and vegetables have these things called phytochemicals, and every color has different ones, and I'm not going to give you all their scientific names because number one, I will mispronounce them and I don't want to sound silly, and number two, you're not going to remember. So let's just talk about what colors and what they do. Okay, so if you're going to eat the rainbow, let's start with red. Red is easy to remember because it's good for heart health, also for your memory, and for urinary tract health. So apples, tomatoes, raspberries, blood oranges, red onions, those are the items that fit in that category. Blue and purple, good for memory function and helps with healthy aging. So if you want to remember which ones are good for aging, think of that little blue-haired old lady, and that'll help you remember that things like blueberries, plums, fig, eggplant, purple cabbage, all of those fall in the group that's good for memory and aging. Then white fruits and vegetables, or tan or brown, they're gonna all go into that same category. Well, those are also good for heart health. So we're talking about garlic, I said it wrong, jicama. I tried to say jicama. Do you eat a lot of that? I eat a lot of that when I'm in Cozumel. Don't find it so much here in the hill country. But cauliflower, find that everywhere. You can make pizza crust out of it. It's good. Potatoes, yes, all of these are good for heart health. Then green, eye health. If you have green eyes, it's easier to remember. If not, well, just remember, green is good for your eyes, also for your bones and your teeth. So green apples, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green grapes, cucumbers, kiwi. Yes, all those green vegetables. We are eating the rainbow and it's so much fun. Orange and yellow, healthy eyes and heart, and good for your immune system. So this is easy to remember because we know we find vitamin C in things like oranges, and that's good for our immune system. So easy to remember, but know that all the orange and yellows out there can be helpful to your immune system. So peppers, apricots, pumpkin, squash, corn, all of those things. Get a variety, eat a rainbow. With food, there can be a lot of elements to balance. The what, as we've discussed, but also the when, the why, the how much. Whew. Well, that's why you just have to keep coming back here week after week, because I'll give you more tips, more inspiration, and more guidance as we work our way through during Eat, Play, Live. So with that, let's go on into play and find some balance in there. And if you know me at all, you know the first place I'm going to go when it comes to balance in the way we move our body, and that can be found with yoga. Yes, you know I love yoga, but literal and mental balance. Obviously, it's good for both of those. There's a lot of balancing postures, a lot of using your own body weight for building strength and flexibility. It's just so good for so many things. But, you know, life is actually about finding the balance between rest and movement. So it's not just about yoga when it comes to how we move our body, but that is what yoga practices: clearing the mind, focusing on breathing and balance, and moving in a way that honors your body and your ability. It's not, just about learning to touch your toes, but what you learn on the way down. And that same thing goes for any activity in which you partake. Running seems simple, right? Just put one foot in front of the other, but it's learning the balance of pushing forward and relaxing into the movement in the most natural way for your body. It doesn't have to be miserable, or so I'm told. But endurance sports, for me, bring balance because every long bike ride, every long run, long swim, it's an exercise in mental clarity. Headphones are not even allowed a lot of times during these events. And that's a lot. That's a lot of time of just you and your thoughts. So you better find the balance in there. Your thoughts can make or break you. I'm telling you, they can. It's amazing. I had to remind myself of that yesterday. I went for a run and I wanted to do 6 to 8 miles, and I got going, and like mile 2 and 3, my body was saying, like, this is plenty. I think 3 is, but my mind had already decided that I was going to keep going. And so 7.77 miles, I don't know why it ended up at that number, but that's where we got. It was all right here. It was all right there. So when I'm out doing these things, one of the ways that I try to find balance is by focusing on acknowledging gratitude for the nature around me and then scanning my body. So if there's an ache or a pain, breathing into that, continuing, but just mindfully directing the breath to take care of that ache or pain, and then giving thanks for the ability to keep going. Allow the mind to wander, because it's going to do that, and work out issues that you've been working on, that you're facing, but then allow yourself to take breaks from that and return to the mindfulness of the moment. Now, if you're new to an activity, no matter what it is, you've got to be able to find the balance in pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, but not causing injury. Obviously, we don't want to get hurt, then that makes it really hard to get back going again. Appreciating the soreness of challenging your muscles, but then not using that soreness as an excuse to rest for like the next week and a half. No, you don't need that much rest. So here's where maybe a buddy or a trainer can help just kind of gently push you out of your comfort zone and remind you that you've got to get that balance. If you want to see results, you've got to push a little bit harder, but not too hard. So who else can we call upon in our life when we need some help finding that balance? Have you ever noticed that the people that you spend time around kind of ebb and flow? Or are you the kind of person that has a very specific, like one other person or a group of people that are always your base? I don't think one way is better or worse than the other, but ask yourself, what do you get from the people that you spend time with? We don't do anything in our life without getting some kind of reward for it. If we weren't being rewarded in some way, we would stop doing it. So sometimes it's a healthy and positive reward, and sometimes it's not. It's not even healthy, but we do it anyway. So that's for another day to delve into that. But the people in your circle may be exactly who you need to help you maintain balance. They may be just the right combination of funny and serious, spontaneous and grounded, those YOLO people, and then the thrifty people that are like holding back. But if you feel in your gut that something is off, there's someone or there's something in your life that's draining your energy, making you cry, leaving you wanting, perhaps consider lovingly stepping away from that relationship, even if it's just for the time being, creating some boundaries that will give you the freedom and the confidence to go your own way. And where do you go when you go your own way? Well, home. Go home. So this was such a weird little thing that I ran across, but it was on the IKEA website of all places, and they had I don't know how to explain it exactly. It was almost like a blog for finding balance and creating balance through every room in your home. Pretty cool, right? So these are some of their suggestions that I thought were pretty cool. Eat together, grow together. Any meal, the key is togetherness, not timing. So obviously, as we're talking about the dining room there, but making a point to eat together. Then, room by room, we can find balance by getting a good night's sleep. In your bedroom, remove distractions. Your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your TV, all those screens. Try not to take them into the bedroom. That's tough, I know. I like to lay in bed and scroll on my phone. I get it. But it's really not conducive to finding the balance and getting a good night's sleep. Then, rather than avoiding, here's something you can create. Create a creative corner. Dedicate a space where you can be creative. Maybe it's your office. My sister has an amazing craft room. My stepmom has a painting room. I think of all the different people I know and the ways that they have made creative spaces for themselves. Maybe a sewing table, a drawing table. My son has a VR space. That's his creative space. But whatever it is for you, find a space, find a place within your home that you can go and feel creative. Feed your well-being. Get creative in the kitchen. Maybe that's your space. Try new recipes, techniques, and dance in your kitchen. I don't know why the kitchen just seems like such a fun place to dance, but turn on the music and have some fun. Remember also that a tidy home, tidy your mind. And this is IKEA, not me telling you to clean up after yourself, but clean up after yourself. Come on. An organized and clean home can help you feel more in control. Dedicate a day or a weekend, or break it up into little 20-minute stretches and have like a focused attack for 20 minutes if that's what it takes. And think about the outside of your house too. You know, I was trimming the hedges the other day with like the power hedge thing. Yeah, I'm such a pro. It was the best, most therapeutic, I don't know, maybe an hour. Man, if you have any kind of anger thing, frustration in your life, get after those hedges. Man, talk about a great way to find some balance. And then your yard looks good, and that can be a really nice space where you can feel calm and peaceful. And maybe that's your creative space. I don't know. Maybe a garden. So many thoughts, so many things. But research has shown that many people over the past couple of years have grown closer or feel like they've become closer to their family, but feeling a little less connected to their friends. However, when we need emotional support, friends are who we generally turn to. So what's going on with that? Well, if a home that makes you feel good improves your well-being, and spending more time with friends does the same thing, let's challenge ourselves to invite friends into our homes. When's the last time you had friends over? Get off the social sites. Bring friendship to the couch, the patio, around the fire pit, or like any party, wherever the food is. You know, we always gather in the kitchen, right? So just challenge yourself to bring those people back physically into your life. And speaking of gatherings with friends, I have to tell you that last night was amazing. So my show, Eat, Play, Live, and Greater Texas Solar co-sponsored Working Women Wednesday, which is an event that we have once a month here in Mason, and all the working women about town come, and a lot of gals who have businesses will bring a gift of some sort, and we do drawings and give them away, and then they're able to talk about their business and just let everybody know who they are and what they're doing. And it's a wonderful time of networking and fellowship. And last night I had the privilege of speaking to all the gals, and I did a little session I call Getting Fit and Having Grit, that kind of goes through my journey of transformation and the life lessons that have come out of that. So it was just such a neat experience. And if you missed it, I am available. I'd like to book retreats, workshops, any kind of event you might have, and you need someone to come and share some experience, strength, and hope in that department. Well, message me on Facebook and let me know. And, maybe we can do that. I don't know. This could be a thing. So anyway, it was just a really neat event. So thank you to all the ladies that came, and I hope they all had as an amazing time as I did. So I sure appreciate you for being here. And until next week, I am Andi P, reminding you that living to extremes is easy, a lot easier than balance. But what we need to do is strive for that balance. See you next week.